Welcome to today's video, you guys. I wanted to talk about a product that is not new, but it's a line that's newly come to people's attention thanks to Black Lives Matter, and that is the line of Danessa Myricks. It doesn't have a K in it. Danessa Myricks. You can find her line on Beautylish, and that's where I found my goodies. I first heard of this line maybe a year and a half ago. I was watching a video by Hindash, who is a really lovely makeup artist, and he had mixed this, the Vision Flush, with this, the NARS eye primer in dark. And I thought it looked so beautiful. And then he put some Orgasm on top of it. It was stunning. So I recently bought it, and I've been playing around with it, and you've probably seen it in a few videos, and I decided to buy a couple of other products. Because she's a professional makeup artist, I personally feel that her line is much more geared towards professionals, and they can be a little overwhelming, well, I'm not sure how to use that. The palettes for me, forget it. That for me is completely professional. You are one person with one skin color. Maybe you'll get a little darker in the summertime, but I find for most palettes, like bronzing palettes or contour palettes, basically one will work for me and the rest won't. So it's kind of a waste of money for me. I feel like if you are a professional makeup artist, then it's something you should really look at. Same thing with the highlighters. So for me, the palettes are out. Contour, bronze, highlighter, no. But these still have that little questiony thing about them, like, I'm not really sure how to handle these. These are to be used all over your face, your lips, your cheeks, your eyes. The same with this. This is her matte formula, and this is the Vision Flush. It is more sheer, but it doesn't have to be. I initially had thought maybe I will get my second color in something more muted that I could use for a natural blush, but I found I could definitely mix this with either this or this and come up with a really nice blush. So I'm just going to show you the many ways these can be used. I've already done my foundation, my concealer, my brows. I've got something laying on my lips and making them feel nice. So let's start with a little contour. This is cool enough, and I'll put the color down below. This is matte. It's cool enough, I think, to use as a contour, and then you could add some pink to it and use it for a bronzer. So this is something I want to do with a sponge. Did I wet my sponge? No, I did not. I'll be right back. Wet sponge. I decided I'm going to keep one sponge for foundations and the other for mixing stuff or contours. So we're going to start with this and just put a little bit on your hand. You have to kind of be comfortable working with your hand, and that's how little. This is the tip, that's how little. It kind of looks like a mole or a freckle. Then spread it around the hand, and then pick it up. I'm going to squeeze this since I'm going for a contour, and there is pink in this particular shade without a doubt. And these products will stay all day long. So if you're someone who lives in a very humid area and you're having a hard time getting your colors to stay on, like if you got the MAC Face and Body, so your foundation's there, but everything else falls apart, this might be one to look at. So I guess I'm doing a contour bronze. I like my bronze to be a little bit pink because when I get sun, I get a little bit pink. I think it's underneath everybody's color exposure, sun exposure, is a teeny bit. I'm putting out some more because this is already dry. And I'm just squeezing my beauty blender and working it around. Definitely want to get some at the temples. The temple area doesn't always work for women, especially when they get older, because sometimes when they lose volume in their face, this is where you lose it. I do not have that problem. So I will go ahead and do a little right here, and whatever's left right here. And again, I'm just using one color. You could certainly use a couple of colors so you can get something a little more bronze and not do a bronzer. And just to even up, bring a little bit to the jolly area, just so everything looks like it's being hit. I think it's really subtle, and frankly, it's really easy to work with. And it'll stay on your face and has a very, very natural look. So that's one way to use this. Now I'm starting with quite a bit of shine, as I always do, because my sunscreen's pretty shiny. And this, even though it's a matte, I wouldn't say, oh, the whole face is shining and then I have a matte contour or bronzer. No. Now let's go on to some of the colors. What's really fun about this, let me clean my hand, is you can mix these good colors. You can mix all of these colors. A little micellar water. Whoops, a little too much micellar water. So I have found that this one seems to be more pigmented than this one. And these are called Vision Flush, meaning they're sheers, but you don't have to sheer them out. So first I just want to show you, just gonna go two little things like that. And okay, I'll show you a sheer. So there it is, sheared. And you could go straight on the cheeks with something like that. You can also mix them. Since this one has a lot more, I'm just going to do two little dots. Did I just do the same one? Yes. Orange one. Two bigger dots. And again, I'll show you what the shearing out looks like. They're both really pretty. But you can see there seems to be more pigment in the orange. And you can kind of mix these together and get something like that, like an orangey pink. And let's say that's a little too vibrant for you, and put a little of this in it. But you've got to move fast, guys, because these dry fast. And now it's got a little bit of a muted thing going on. Let's try this. And I like to go a little high so it kind of pulls everything up and it helps to brighten the eye color. And just take the clean side and make sure that the edges are blended. Ooh, this has got a nice little sun-kissed look, so I'm going to kind of go around the nose a little bit and get the very tops of the cheeks. A little on the chin and a little up here. So they're really, really versatile. You just have to be, you know, brave and playful enough to mix things up on your hand and see what you come up with. And you might have some trial runs. Some, I'm not so sure about that, and I love that. But here are the two colors, the orange and the pink sheared. And here I've added this color. And I've made it a little bit more neutral. Let's move on to the eyes. I've cleaned my palette and I'm trying to think what I want to do with the eyes. You can mix these with other products as well, and I don't think I want to do this on the eyes. I don't want to necessarily go for a monochromatic kind of look, so I think I might mix these two and one other thing. So you could mix it with, for instance, this, obviously we know that, and it'll make it darker. But let's say you want to, I mean, honestly, I already have that covered with this. Let's say you want to bring a little bit of light to it, a little bit of shimmer to it. But I think I'm going to go for that jelly product from Jill Stewart. I'll be right back. I think you probably could go in and just do a more articulated eye. I think it would take a more skill level to use, for instance, both of these colors and have them really show on your eye. Probably patience, but you'd have to move fast before it sets up. And I think you'll have a little bit more skill than I do. But for one and done, we're going to do a mix on the hand. So we're going to take a little bit of that. Let's just go ahead and do that. Where'd that NARS go? Do the NARS. Let's see what that looks like. And I would use a synthetic brush. Now I'm just going to take this Jill Stewart jelly thing for just a little bit of shine. all three right there. Let's see what happens when we mix them together. This is what it looks like on the hand. Now I'm wearing pink, but I think pink and orange complement each other very nicely. And just remember, move fast. And I gotta get the other eye going before it's too late. Unless you feel really good about getting your mix correct for a second time. I do kind of want to add some pink because I'm wearing pink. So, again, I'm just going to disperse from my hand and go in with the same brush and just pink it up a little bit and blend it in with the finger. This color will stay with you all day long. But I do think you should probably, when you buy these, if you buy them, play with them a couple of times. Now, you need to clean these, by the way, because look at what my brush is looking like. Not so hot. You could kind of pinch this and get a haze underneath. And then I'd follow up with my finger. Now I want to do some liner. I'm going to use this as the liner, but I'm first going to start with something, because the lining is not my forte. My eyes don't lend themselves to lining. I can do a little bit of a line, but winging is hard for me. But I'm going to try. But I'm going to start with my Bobbi Brown. And this is something that will stay. So cleaning the hand again. And I just dip into this, take some off, and put this on my hand like that. If you store these upside down, they'll last for a long time, but I believe I probably put some of that Inglot product that I can't remember what it's called. I will put it right down here. A little while ago, Durline, and that will keep it wet for a long time. Just kind of got my brush involved with this, and I may come back. Like I have a teeny little wing here. You can hardly see it. And when I close my eyes, it's like this screaming line up here. You guys, I'm so hooded. This is not a lesson on how to do a wing on a hood, because it's just, if you're this hooded, you just can't. I mean, you can, but it'll look really scary. I'd rather just do my wing with my shadow. Cleaning up again, disperse on the hand. Oh, look how that just transferred. Nice. Okay. Now you don't have to do what I just did, like sketching it out with something else first. I just did that because I'm so not good at liner. I think I kind of messed this up a little bit, so I'm just changing my plan and I'm blending all this in, so it's just going to be a lash line. And of course you can go in with something really dark instead, but I think it's kind of a nice surprise to have a liner that is not super dark. And if you want to, go back in and do a little bit of lining by the lash line, the lower lash line, but just the teeniest bit. And this color for me is perfect for that, because I don't like something hard for me, because I have so much darkness and puffiness and whatnot under my eyes. I don't want to call attention to it. And Let me do some mascara and I will be right back. Now, let's talk about lips. I'm going to do a little bit of lining with this. You guys, this is an experiment. This is off script, but so much of makeup should be. That's playing is part of it, and I think that's how you learn. And just making the strokes short. And then I'm pulling down into the lip as well. Ooh, you know what? These would be fun to do an ombre with. I haven't tested that, but maybe. I have a very defined vermilion, and the vermilion is that white part above the lip, around the lip, and when you touch your lip, if you're like me and it's quite pronounced, you can feel it. It's like an outline, but it doesn't have color on it. But that outline is a great guide for overlining. Like on this lip, on the lower lip, I have a clear double line. But that vermilion is kind of handy to help you go over. I wouldn't go fully to the vermilion because my vermilion ends here and I would look, I'm afraid I would look quite clowny. Okay, now I'm outlined, and I do think you could probably have a lot of fun and do something ombre. I'm not quite that brave. I could go in with this brush and see if there's anything left and just go here. Let's see. There is. You know what? This smells like rose. I'm not mad at it. And now I just kind of mix the lip line with the color. And if it's still a little hard, you can just pat on it. I'm not going for the brown liner pink lip look, but it does give it a little bit of dimension. Feel that the light is changing. It's kind of cloudy today. Ta-da! All my color was from 3 Danessa Myricks products, and they are, I find, very easy to use. You just have to be willing to get your hand really dirty and play and experiment, and this look is going to stay, and it's unique because you made them all yourself. Well, not all of them, but use them in ways that they may not be intended for. I blended these 3 together to get my blush. I did the orange and the pink on the eyes. I did this for the liner on my eyes and on my lips. And this is just a couple of ways. There's probably more. You can use the Danessa Myricks. Oh, why do I always put a K in there? Danessa Myricks products. The Vision Flush, which is more sheer, and this one is the matte. And she has a plethora of shades at Beautylish, but a lot more shades at a professional makeup site, and I cannot remember what it's called. So just do a Google search for her and you will find many, 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 many shades. And they're well worth playing with. They're very versatile and they stay. And that's going to wrap it up for me today. I hope this was entertaining for you. I hope it was fun. I hope you might have learned something, and I hope you come back again. In the meantime, be safe and smart. And until we meet again, I am wishing you good health.